For millions of Europeans, mornings started the same way. That distinctive carton, that familiar name, Parmalat. Children grew up drinking it. Mothers trusted it. Families built their mornings around it. This wasn't just milk. This was the milk. The Italian brand that had revolutionized dairy across an entire continent. More than 30 countries, 130 plants, a $9 billion empire. Built on something as simple, as ancient, as honest as milk. In 2003, auditors asked one question about one bank account in the Cayman Islands, supposedly holding 3.9 billion euros in cash. Bank of America had never heard of it. The money didn't exist. The account didn't exist. And the financial foundation of everything Parmalat had told the world had never existed either. So how does a company built entirely on trust become one of the biggest frauds in European history? To understand the betrayal, you first have to understand the man behind it, and the genuine miracle he built before the lies began. Calisto Tanzi was born in 1938, Parma, Italy. The son of a food merchant in one of Italy's most celebrated culinary cities. Parma, home of Parmesan cheese, of Parma ham, of food taken seriously as art. When Tanzi founded his small pasteurized milk business in 1961, he was building on a foundation of Italian food pride that ran centuries deep. He was 23 years old, ambitious, charismatic, relentlessly energetic. The kind of founder who walked factory floors at midnight, who knew every supplier by name, who treated employees like family. In the early years, the integrity was real, the product was genuine, the pride was justified. Then, in the 1970s, Tanzi made a decision that would change the dairy industry forever. UHT milk, ultra-high temperature processing, heat milk at a certain temperature for a fraction of a second, kill all bacteria, seal in sterile packaging, shelf life of months without refrigeration, no cold chain required, no expiry within days, dairy that could travel, dairy that could reach places fresh milk never could. The technology existed. Tanzi commercialized it at scale before anyone else. The distinctive Parmalat carton, that long-life brick of milk, appeared in kitchens across Italy, then Europe, then the world. Parmalat didn't just sell milk, it redefined what milk could be, where it could go, who could afford it, how long it could last. By the 1980s, Parmalat was one of Italy's most successful food multinationals. By the 1990s, it was a global powerhouse, 36 countries, 130 production plants, operations across Europe, North America, South America, Australia. The Brazilian market alone, enormous, strategically vital. Tanzi listed Parmalat on the Milan Stock Exchange in 1990, raising capital, expanding further, growing faster. An Italian success story that made the whole country proud. Calisto Tanzi, the 23-year-old who had started with pasteurized milk in Parma, was now one of the most celebrated businessmen in Europe. On magazine covers, invited to government dinners, the embodiment of Italian entrepreneurial achievement. But behind the wholesome image, the truth was very different. The expansion had been funded by debt, not disciplined debt, not strategic debt, catastrophic, accumulating, unsustainable debt, failed investments absorbed quietly, vanity acquisitions that made no commercial sense, a Brazilian football club, Parma Calcio, bought for prestige, not profit, a tourism company, television interests, diversifications that hemorrhaged money. Each loss required covering. Each covered loss required hiding. Each hidden loss required a more elaborate fiction to maintain. The money was moved through a labyrinth of offshore shell companies, Cayman Islands, Luxembourg, other jurisdictions designed for opacity. The losses buried in entities so complex that even sophisticated auditors struggled to follow them. And at the center of the entire structure, one account. In the Cayman Islands, Parmalat Financing Corporation, a Parmalat subsidiary. supposedly holding 3.9 billion euros in cash deposits at Bank of America. That account was the load-bearing wall of Parmalat's entire financial presentation, the number that made the debt levels look manageable, the cushion that reassured investors, banks, and auditors, the proof that beneath the complexity, the company was fundamentally sound. For years, it worked. 14 major banks lent to Parmalat against that reassurance. Institutional investors bought its bonds, auditors signed off annual accounts. The 3.9 billion euros sat there in every presentation. Solid, reassuring, completely invented. The unraveling began in late 2003. Parmalat was attempting to raise new capital. As part of the due diligence process, auditors requested direct confirmation from Bank of America. A routine step, a standard verification. The kind of check that happens thousands of times every year in corporate finance. Bank of America responded. They had no record of the account, no record of 3.9 billion euros in deposits, no record of any relationship with Parmalat Financing Corporation of the scale described. The letter that Parmalat had used to confirm the account's existence was examined more carefully. It was a forgery. Someone had taken a genuine Bank of America document, scanned it, altered the figures, printed it, used it for years. 3.9 billion euros, confirmed by a piece of paper that a child with a scanner could have produced. The investigation that followed was swift and devastating. Italian authorities moved immediately. Tanzi was arrested on December 27, 2003. As the investigators dug deeper, the full scale emerged. Not 3.9 billion euros missing. Closer to 14 billion euros in total financial irregularities accumulated over more than a decade. The fraud had begun not as a grand scheme, but as small concealments of early losses, each concealment requiring a larger one to cover it. Each year the fiction growing more elaborate, more people brought in to maintain it, more banks deceived, more investors misled. Tanzi eventually confessed to knowing about the fraud, sentenced to 18 years in prison. His family members and executives across the organization, all implicated, many convicted. Grant Thornton, one of Parmalat's auditors, faced regulatory action. 14 major banks, including Citigroup, Deutsche Bank, and UBS, all implicated in various degrees of complicity or negligence. Investors across Europe lost billions. Ordinary Italian families who had bought Parmalat bonds as safe investments discovered their savings were gone. What happened to the company itself? Remarkably, Parmalat survived. Restructured under court protection, new management installed. The core business, the milk, the UHT technology, the brand, was genuinely valuable underneath the financial wreckage. The product had never been the problem. The product was still trusted, still bought, still drunk every morning by millions of families. In 2011, the French dairy giant Lactalis acquired Parmalat, the brand that Tanzi had built from a Parma food shop, continuing under new ownership. The distinctive carton still on supermarket shelves across Europe today. The milk inside it, exactly what it always claimed to be. Honest, pure, unchanged. It was only the money that was never real. Parmalat's story forces a question that the financial world has never fully answered. How does a fraud of this scale, 14 billion euros accumulated over more than a decade, go undetected for so long? 14 banks, multiple auditors, institutional investors, regulatory bodies, all of them either deceived or insufficiently curious. The forged Bank of America letter, crude by any forensic standard, accepted for years without direct verification. The answer is uncomfortable. When a company trades on trust as effectively as Parmalat did, when the product is wholesome and the founder is charming and the brand is beloved, the normal skepticism that financial due diligence requires gets quietly suspended. Nobody wanted to question Parmalat too hard. The banks were making money lending to it. The auditors were being paid to audit it. The investors wanted the returns it promised. And Tanzi, Charming, celebrated, the pride of Italian business, seemed like exactly the kind of man whose company you didn't need to question too closely. That comfort, that trust, that willingness to believe was the most powerful tool in Tanzi's fraud. More powerful than any forged document, more effective than any offshore shell company. The real hiding place for 14 billion euros was the goodwill of everyone who should have been looking more carefully. Parmalat reminds us of something important. Trust is the foundation of commerce. Without it, nothing functions. No investment, no lending, no trade. But trust without verification is not virtue. It is vulnerability. The most dangerous frauds are always wrapped in the most ordinary things. Milk, family, tradition, the pride of a nation. The more innocent the product, the more thoroughly the books must be questioned. Not because every honest company is hiding something, but because the ones that are hiding something always choose the most innocent wrapping they can find. Calisto Tanzi built something real. UHT milk changed the world. Parmalat fed a continent. Those things are true, but he also chose, when the losses came and the pressure mounted, to deceive rather than admit, to hide rather than confront, to forge rather than confess. And in doing so, he betrayed every family whose morning started with that distinctive carton, every child who drank that milk, every investor who trusted that balance sheet, every employee who believed in what they were building. The milk was always real. The money never was. And in the end, the difference between the two cost him everything.